Candyman, Candyman. Watch out. Better not say it so many times, or at least don't look in the mirror. All right, full disclosure. I am not really a huge horror guy. Quite honestly, I never watched the original Candyman movie. Sorry. The only thing about Candyman that I'm familiar with is that I know there's a Candyman song, an old classic tune.
The Candyman, yeah, the Candyman can.
You know, in my mind, if I were to do a Candyman horror movie, it would be probably something very similar to like the SNL skit from back in the day.
Candygram.
Candygram my foot. You get out of here before I call the police. You're the shark and you know it.
Wait, I'm only a dolphin, ma'am.
A dolphin? Well, okay.
But I decided to give Candyman a shot. New film by Nia DaCosta and produced by Jordan Peele. And it was an interesting movie. I will have to say that there are some good things and there were some bad things. Let's start with the good. Cinematically and just by looking at the cinematography, a very beautiful movie. Nice long shots, nice views and different points of view. I thought when you really look at the cinematography of this movie, it's a very compelling type of movie. I love the use of locations, and especially like a lot of the stuff really happens indoors, and I love the little different angles and the little sleight of hands that they use. They play with your vision quite a bit, so I like the whole look and feel of the movie. Most of the acting was very well done. Teyonah, Parris, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, which I thought were really good in this movie. Big shout out to Nathan Stewart-Jarrett. His character is probably one of my favorites. I also like the fact that they kept a lot of the violence off screen. There was not a lot of moments where you actually saw the killings happening. They did a lot of plays with point of views and off-site camera angles. It was very stylish in the way that the horror was portrayed throughout this movie. I wouldn't even consider it a horror movie. It's more of like a thriller. If you are familiar with Jordan Peele's movies like Get Out and Us, kind of along the same lines there, but this is where I have a problem with the movie. One of my major gripes of the movie is that I felt Nia DaCosta was trying to do a Jordan Peele movie. In certain aspects it works, but in other aspects it doesn't. And the one thing that really didn't work for me was the constant push in your face about certain messages that she's trying to put out there. And of course, the overall underlying message here about the movie revolves around racial injustice and racism and how sides perceive each other. Whether you're an artist, a poor person, an elite art dealer, what have you, how it plays along those roles and how they interact with each other. It's very easy to tell that this was a huge message that she wanted to portray. I know from what I heard of the original movie, a lot of that deals with racism and try to put a message out there as well. But one of the things I love about Jordan Peele's movies is that his movies does the same thing, except he does it in a way that's very strategic. And you don't really realize what he's trying to say up until the end of the movie when you start thinking back and you're like, oh wow, yeah, you know, this really tells a lot about this topic or this type of prejudice. It's very interesting and subtle the way he puts his messages throughout his movies and how he tells his stories. Here, I felt like it was just all in your face. It was just constant reminder, this is what I'm talking about. This is what the problems are. I give a lot of kudos to Nia for doing that her way. It just would have been nicer if it was a little bit more subtle. Another great thing I really love about the movie is when they go into the backstories of Candyman. I love how all the backstories were portrayed in paper puppetry, you know, just like you saw in one of the teaser trailers of the movie. This was so well done, so cinematic, very unique in its way, and I think these are some of the best moments of the movie for me. It would be great if maybe a DVD extra, just a collection of all those stories melded into one, so that in its own it's like a short. Other than that, it follows a good amount of the same horror tropes that you tend to see in horror movies, especially of these recent years. That's all I gotta really say about it. I mean, it's an interesting movie. At times it felt long. For an hour and 31 minutes, it's kind of weird to be feeling that for a short movie, especially in today's standards. I feel like this plays very well to the nostalgia of the original movie. From what I've seen, those who love the original Candyman actually really enjoy this movie quite a bit. Since I have no connection to the original movies, I don't have that sense of loyalty. And this was just my take on it, and this is how I felt about it. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comments, you know, Am I wrong? You know, should I watch the original movie? Maybe I could get a different perspective of things. Let me know what you guys think and stay tuned for the next video. All right, y'all. Peace. Candyman!